Welcome to the I Love Wine and Dogs podcast, created, produced, and hosted by Heidi Hubner, with engineering and production by Timothy Stone Dancer Coleman. This show was created to celebrate good wine, amazing pets, and people from around the world who are doing great things in their local communities.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of I Love Wine and Dogs. I love what I do. I love doing this podcast because I share the loves in my life and also sharing amazing people that are friends in my life. So today's show is going to be a little different. Tim, my brother, is not going to physically be on the show with us today. That's okay. He has a full plate of other things that he's got to take care of. You know, busy. So it's all good. We will miss him dearly, but that's okay. So it's going to be a little different, but change and things are good. So I want to introduce my friend, Kristy Anderson. She's our guest on the show today. Kristy, hi. How are you, honey?
Hi, I'm awesome. I am awesome. I'm just super excited to spend more time with you.
Well, so I have to explain how Kristy and I met. We met back at Chapman College.
Hey, there's her.
Like, I don't remember how long ago that was. I don't want to age myself.
By saying college, you did.
Exactly. So Kristy knows Jessica, who was also on the show, Jessica Seaburn. And Kristy is doing amazing things in her world and life. But before we get to that, I just want to go back and talk about your childhood and if you had any pets growing up.
Oh, yeah. We were a animal-friendly family. I moved out here with my parents when I was 6 months old. So we had a dog called Happy, and it was my mom's dog, actually. So he would always smile, and I always thought dogs just smiled. I thought that was a thing, like they just did. And then we got a cat named Midnight. So the Andersons had a really, good way of naming their animals. Smile, Black Cat, Midnight. Let's just, let's get creative here. So, I had cats and dogs. We always had pets around, walking dogs was a responsibility. When I went to college, Chapman, my mom actually went to the store to make a final breakfast before I left. And then she came back with pancake mix and a dog. So it was back in the day where people would have litters of dogs and they would go to the supermarket and like, do you want a dog? And most people in the community are good pet owners. So we got a cute dog named Bailey from the supermarket. And so, yeah.
So again, you were doing animal rescue before the term came, like today, animal rescue, we've been doing it for, I feel 30 plus years, but yeah, back in the day, that's what we did.
Yeah. These dogs
were rescuing animals.
Yeah. It's a lucky we didn't have like a dog a week because it seems like so many people did that. I would have loved that, a new dog a week, but we had Bailey.
Yeah. So I think I told this on one show, I don't remember, but I did come back from a farmer's market with a goat once. My parents were like, yeah, no. So we found Meg a good home, but yeah, it's like, hey, somebody needs a home. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great. It's been great. I loved the animals.
Do we hear Ripley barking in the background? He wants to be heard. Hi, Ripley. We hear you.
Saying hi.
He's protecting the house. It's probably the squirrel going across the fence or the mailman, either or. So, growing up with pets, when you were a child, did you have an idea of what you wanted to be doing in life?
That's a great question. I think as you get older, you look back and say, what did I want to do? I remember going through a phase that I wanted to be an astronaut because I played sports and I was kind of a tomboy and, played ditch where my brother never came to find me, but I thought I was really good at hiding. Not so much because I never looked. But I don't know why I thought maybe I Dream a Genie or something, but you just needed to be athletic. And so that was my idea of going to space and being an astronaut. And then I went through a big astronaut phase. And then I realized that these astronauts just didn't go to space and have a good time. They were actually mathematicians or engineers. And there was such a science to that. And I grew up not having the confidence that I should have had around math and science. So I took a hard left. I was like, well, that's not me. I can't do that. So I, bounced around. I wanted to be a performer for a while. I think this is such a great, platform because you can kind of tap into your former performance self. So a lot of different things, but yeah, I remember very clearly the astronaut because I would just be able to jump around in space.
So this is going to, again, tie in. I love how it always does to what you're doing now. But were you good at math and science? Did you like it? Or did you just feel like you couldn't? Like, girls just weren't supposed to be good at that.
It was just not for me. Like I was a dum-dum. Like that, I just wasn't good at math. No one helped me with math. I felt insecure about math and science. The life sciences, biology, just everything. And so I didn't have the confidence. And I also, I didn't have the ability to say, wait a minute, I really want to figure this out. And I played sports. Like if it was contextual, sports on an angle, right? You play soccer, the speed at which you hit, your approach, all math is around us. And I think if somebody would have put context to it and really helped me through it, I would have had more confidence. But it was kind of like, well, you sit over there with your dunce cap and you just handle yourself without math. So, yeah.
I find that so interesting because math and science was not my thing. Gym class was, sports, dance more so than like sports, but whatever we were doing sports in gym class, I just loved it, and playing dodgeball at recess. So our brains, we gravitate towards those things that we like and make us happy. But like you said, math is all around us. And, growing up and no, not trying to knock any of my teachers, but boy, I was made to feel like, yeah, you're just not good at this. This is not your thing.
Yep.
So I believed it.
Yeah. And now I love it.
Okay.
Yeah. I love math now. I love solving problems. Like that's what math is problem solving. I think it's so cool, but yeah.
Okay. I like that. So when you were growing up, who were your role models? And did that change?
Yeah.
As you got older?
How now there seems to be so much access. I mean, we had the encyclopedias and I could look up people, but maybe everybody says this, but really my mom, because I just saw her working really hard. She had 2 jobs, but she made sure we had dinner. We made sure we did her homework. Things were clean. We had fun. We had joy, all those things. So I think without knowing it, she was showing me work ethic. She was showing me commitment. She's a really good friend. And so all of those things that if I didn't call her a role model, I find myself now looking backwards that I modeled a lot of those behaviors. So it's still true today. I have an amazing group of friends that you are included. And I think I learned how to be a friend from my mom. And I loved athletes. Like back there wasn't a ton of professional female athletes, but seeing women at the top of their game in tennis, it was impressive. It was exciting. Women who looked like me, who went to school like I did, and after school, and ice skating and the Olympics. I think that gave me confidence to just keep on trying. So I can't remember if I had another role model, but certainly, again, the lack of having another one out in the atmosphere, my mom was that kind of that due north. I follow.
Well, and when we were growing up, we didn't have all of the tools people do today. So what we saw on TV or what we saw on the newsstand, or in the news, that's what we knew. Now, there are so many ways to find different role models. You can Google who are athletes if you were a kid really interested in soccer.
Yeah.
Who are the athletes, the female athletes? And I think also just how female sports is expanding, right?
Yep.
And I hope that continues to expand because Christy, you have always been active. So what sports were you really playing seriously?
Yeah, I started playing soccer at 5, and my mom was my coach. She didn't want to be it, but when the first practice, the woman was in her flowy skirt picking up grass. When all these little girls were coming in and wanting to play soccer, my mom's like, nope, I'm going to be the coach. So playing competitive since I was 5. Again, it was like not everybody got trophies. There was if you played your best that day, then you won. And if you didn't play and you played your best and you lost, you had to deal with it, and you had to work harder, and you had to be better to take the top spot. So I played soccer, I played softball. I probably had a lot of energy, so my parents just want me to run it out. And then when I got into middle school, I started to play volleyball. So I played and I ran track when I was little as well. But really started focusing in volleyball in my middle school and then my high school. So volleyball and soccer. I went to Chapman the first year and I tried to play both as a walk-on for volleyball and soccer. But my sophomore year, I was asked to choose between the sports. And so I chose volleyball. But yeah, I mean, I love a game. I mean, tennis, I'll chase a ball, paddleball. I hate to say I like it, but I do. But I do love just that fun of it. If I lose, I lose. I'm not competitive. I want to do well, but I just love a game.
So I want to go back to when you were saying, and I feel like things have changed as far as kids in sports, where the best team won, the best athlete, and is best the right word? I don't know. Is that wrong to say right now? Yeah. But that the athlete, the child that excelled was recognized for that. And I mean, what are your thoughts now where I feel like, everybody wins? Is
Right.
that good? Is that healthy? Is it smart? I don't know.
I mean, I can't say either. In my opinion, that's competition, right? And so leadership and character is built for kids and adults in those hard times. And losing is hard. If you go Tuesday and Thursday and run around and work out your best and you lose, that is a hard lesson. But it's a lesson that you have to learn, right? That means that you get up, you try harder, you try different things, you work on your skills, and you try to achieve it. I mean, if it was easy, there'd be 100,000 Michael Jordans. There'd be 100,000 Mia Hamms, right? So there is a certain level of genetics. There's a certain level of people who just are so dedicated, and they work to that top echelon. I think competition is good. I don't think it's a zero-sum game, meaning if I win and you lose, that, you're a loser, vice versa, or I'm a loser. I think it's just part of the process. So I'm not a fan of everyone wins. I think that everybody should be applauded for doing their best. Everybody should be applauded for being a good teammate in the good times and the bad. I 100% think that that's the approach. But in sport, there's a top spot. And I think that's great. I think that's okay.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I know a lot of people have different views. I was a professional dancer, and, my body type was not that of a ballerina. I have short legs, and I have a booty. It was like, as much as I loved ballet, and granted, I was not an amazing ballerina, but I loved it. Yeah. My teacher said, we want to start looking more at jazz and musical theater. That's your person. And she was right. I went on working professionally, for years doing that. That's where Tim and I met. But I think it would have been a disservice if she would have said, yes, you're going to be the most amazing ballerina, because the world would not have, it was not meant to be.
Yeah. And I think
it would have never happened.
Yeah. I think it's okay instead of focusing on the things we're not, all the things that we are, because that list is so much bigger than the short list of the things. Yeah. I'm not going to be a rugby player. Like I'm not that strong. I'm not that, I'm not that strong, but I can do so many other things. So just reframing what you can do.
Right. And then when you were also talking about when you were at Chapman playing two different sports, and did they make you make a decision because you were on the teams? Like it was serious for you. It wasn't just playing for fun.
Yeah.
Was that why they asked you to choose?
Yeah. And I had an opportunity to get a scholarship my second year of playing volleyball. And at that time, women's soccer wasn't a scholarship sport. And I think it was the same season too. So there was just some other things, other factors that influenced my decision. I mean, I loved the team. The reason I went to Chapman is because my friend, Dana Beardsley, I played club with, like she went to Chapman. She's like, you should go there. So she really introduced me to the school and the program. So, and I'm happy I did. I love volleyball. I love the game. I love soccer, but it was just in that time, it was the better sport for me.
Thank you for sharing that. Dana was great. Do you still speak to her?
Not as often as I should, but she's doing well.
Hi, Dana. In case you watch this, I mean, because life just gets busy. I mean, that's but I mean, I'm glad that you guys, hopefully you make a call after this and reminisce about Chapman.
Yeah, I sure will.
Yeah, Christy, they were the athletes, and our other friends, we were not. We liked to cheer them on.
But the worlds collided, and bonded forever.
Yeah, 100%. And with the soccer boys too, Doug and Rick, all those boys, Brody.
Yeah, Carrie. Yeah, there's so many good guys. And again, it's like team, right? And even in the dance team in your department, it's like you have like people, you get power from those like people, but it doesn't mean that you only can hang out with them. We had sororities at that time, but our school was so small, weren't sure why we needed it, but it was part of it. It was part of the college experience.
Exactly. Our college experience. It was fun. On that note, we are going to take a break to do a PSA.
Here at Tangent, we explore the possibilities of cool climate white wines rooted in the Edna Valley and the Central Coast. These wines challenge expectations and prove that every day can and should be a new adventure. Our innovative spirit is channeled into everything we produce, from colorful cans to screw-capped bottles to our wine itself. We deliver wines with the promise of being vibrant, fresh, and delightfully different. Find us on Instagram and Facebook or call us at 805-269-8200.
Before we continue with more questions for Kristy Anderson, I need to introduce the wine. And Kristy, I think you'll be able to share the name of this wine. So I'm going to hold it up.
Ooh, we went big time.
So who is this? What wine is this?
The Knoll Winery is in Healdsburg, and our very good friend, Heather Knoll, Carmel, this is her family's winery.
So this is a Pinot Noir. I just thought tie in the Chapman, keep our Chapman love going. We had a girls get together, and Heather had brought a lot of her wine, and I have this great picture. Chris, you were with me when we were taking it back to the car. I had the Chardonnay, the Pinot, the Rosé, bubbles. I feel like anyway, I have like 5 or 6 of them. I took a beautiful picture that I'll post, but I haven't tried this one yet. I don't know. Have you had the Pinot Noir yet?
I have. It's so good. They do such a wonderful job. I love Russian River wines. I love wine, so hence it's such a good thing for me. But the Knoll Winery does a really great wine across the board. I've had their whites as well.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to pop that one open later. I can't wait to try it.
Wish I was with you.
I know. Well, I know. It'll happen sooner than later. So I wanted to know, what would you say to parents about the benefits or the value of children growing up with animals?
I think for everyone, I mean, if they have the capacity and the time to have an animal, I think our friend Beth fosters animals. I think it teaches responsibility and compassion without having it be like a curriculum. It just, you learn by doing. And I have friends that live alone, but their dogs are just wonderful companions. So again, if you have the time and capacity, meaning you're home enough, you can take care of them, you have space in your life, I think they add a lot. And the joy, I mean, just like the walking, and I just remember walking around the blocks, and sometimes I just would have talks with my dog. What do you want? What do you think? Or when I was little, I'm sure it's like, hey, I got a math test. What am I going to do? But I just think for everyone, I think that they bring such a joy and a calmness to your life. And so, if you want to give some love, you should give some love, because you will get it back.
Absolutely. And again, you can foster, you don't have to, adopt an animal. A lot of the rescue groups need help with fostering, like our friend Beth does with the kittens. I love everything that she posts, and then they find their forever happy home. So, but yeah, I think growing up with animals is important. I mean, if you're able to have them, and I think it's, it's just good for kids. And then they don't have a fear as adults because they've been used to having an animal.
Yeah, I agree.
Was there a TV show that included math that caught your attention? Because we're going to segue into what you're doing now. So it's kind of a two-part answer to the question. And so let's do that first. Was there ever a TV show that caught your attention and that was math related? Because what are you doing now?
Right. That is such a good question. And this is silly, but the thing that pops up is like Bionic Woman. Like, why didn't I think about it? And that's more like engineering, science, and things like that. But why didn't I just pick up I want to make a bionic woman. That would be amazing. We could, be stronger and more powerful as women. So that's the first thing that popped in my head. But math specific, I don't think so. I don't think that there is enough context around math to say, again, it's used in everyday life. We balance our checkbook, or if I have an Amazon gift card, it's for $25. These are the things I can get. Or it's really bringing context, because we use it every day. But I think and I have legacy fear, right? But we're not taught in context. It's like there's X equals Y, underscore fraction. See how good I am at explaining math? But there's so many things that aren't in context. And I think if we root it in context, then you understand why it's necessary, and you understand that you're already doing it every day. I mean, every little kid counts to 3, or every little kid tells you how old they are. And guess what? That's math.
You're right. Don't ask me X and Y equals whatever, because my brain goes, Okay, but let's delve into, what are you doing now for your current job? Okay, now I'm going to back up. What were you doing before your current job? And then we're going to go into what you're doing now.
Yeah, so I've I've heard it phrased as a portfolio of experience, which means I've had a lot of jobs. I've been in a lot of careers. I've been in a lot of sectors. So of this portfolio, a lot of it is spent in marketing. So I got to tell stories about products, about entertainment, about athletes. I got to tell the stories and really activate. As I look back on my career, like the thread that goes through is really engagement. I've hopefully inspired people to buy a product or attend an event or donate to an amazing cause. or advocate for people who don't have a voice. So that really, based on my marketing experience, is what I have done in maybe the first quarter. I hope I have a lot to do now, but maybe the first quarter of my work experience.
And so what are you doing now?
So like the next quarter, I am very fortunate that I've moved into mission-driven work in the nonprofit sector. And I work at an organization that is called Project Scientist. And we are a girl power organization rooted in joy. So we are a national education nonprofit, and we focus on providing out-of-school STEM programming to girls specifically who attend Title I schools or who are in under-resourced communities. And the reason we don't turn any child away, but just between us and the whole podcast nation, that we could argue that most programs are boys-centered, right, or male-centered. So really, the data shows us, again, like we were just talking, is that at 4, 5, and 6, both boys and girls are told that math and science aren't for them because that's how girls' brains work. That's how boys' brains work. So we're really, and it's unconscious bias, right? So people don't mean to do it, but that's just how we are programmed. So we're already on separate paths. So by including and creating a female-centric work environment or learning environment, we work together. We're just different. We're different in how we learn. And so the collaboration, the learning environment with only girls really helps elevate the confidence, because maybe you're not confident when you're with boys. Maybe you don't want to raise your hand as much as with your boys. And certainly it has changed over the years, but that's kind of the basis of the organization.
Like, how cool is that, everybody? And how it just all kind of all these things led up to this. I love it. Kristy, how do the students, how are they chosen? And what is a STEM? What did you call it? A STEM?
Yeah. So so science, technology, engineering, and math. So those are the principles of which we teach. We teach a lot of that. And art is in there, so we can say STEM or STEAM. Art.
Oh, okay.
So performance art is amazing, of course, but more of the the drawing and the measuring and the modeling, that has an art component. So a lot of people say STEAM, a lot of people say STEM, but it really is the science around it, the scientific thought that you approach. Okay. Again, a scientific thought would have scared me. I would have ran the other way. But really, it's problem solving. It's like try and fail. That's what those principles are. And to be fine with the failure. Again, sometimes you lose. You have to say, well, why did I lose? And that's the same if you experiment in jobs. If I lost that job, or when I'm interviewing, why? How can I be better? There's just a lot of principles. So we do STEM specific programming for girls. We operate out of 3 main regions: Southern California, Charlotte, North Carolina, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and then in Dallas. And we work with Title I schools. And so Title I is a designation that their students qualify for free or reduced lunch. So I'm a fundraiser, so I raise the money so then we can fund the programs and bring them to the schools. So they're after school or summer programs where the girls already attend. So then they're safe, they're familiar with the environment, they have the same teachers sometimes. So it really builds this community of comfort and learning and joy as they try and fail.
Welcome to The Gladly, a contemporary neighborhood eatery nestled in the heart of Central Phoenix. Here, local chef Bernie Cantat crafts flavorful new American cuisine blended with innovation and tradition. At The Gladly, every dish is a celebration of taste, paired with the extensive beverage program boasting over 350 whiskeys. Join us and savor the magic of The Gladly, where every meal is an experience and every visit a memory.
I love that you said comfort in learning, because that's important. Learning can be very intimidating. there were classes, you just kind of took me back to first grade where I was really intimidated to be called on to spell a word out loud. But ironically, I was a great speller. Go figure. Like, I would do the spelling test with my mom studying. Perfect. But for some reason, I don't know what happened that I was like, ugh.
Well, and you had,
and I froze.
Yeah, and your ability to speak and engage people, that had to be you since you were born. So you had all the elements, but then that confidence, and I can feel it too, like the sweat, like kind of getting clammy when I was like, I tried to sit in the back of the class, don't call on me. And yeah, I can feel it. And that stress, that exactly what you just said of being called on.
So being a fundraiser, that's hard. It's hard asking for money, but I know you have a gift at doing that. I want you to share the website at the end because I want people to learn more about what you're doing. Are you guys wanting to expand these programs to more schools and possibly other states?
Yes. So I don't think asking for money is hard because I believe in the mission. I'll ask people every day because it's not going to my pocket. I think the difficulty is making people feel the impact at $1, again, at your capacity. I think just empowering people, letting them know, like, you can make an impact. And we're a nonprofit, so there's no guess on how we have to operate, right? We're a nonprofit. We operate based on the generosity of individuals, of corporations, of foundations. So I love the responsibility of that. But yes, if it was easy, we'd be a $12 billion organization. We are not. But what I love about it is, instead of, and our founder, Sandy Marshall, this is purposeful, right? Her idea was to go deep in these markets and not be fly by night, not be in one market here and there for a year, for a semester, and then say, great, we're done. Our work here is done. We know that going deep in these school districts, so being a high percentage of their after school programming, that, and year over year, that makes us change makers. Because we will be, from girls, we do pre-K all the way through high school. And so it's this pathway to keep girls engaged, doing experiments or, being around like-minded people. It's like, you like science? I like science. That's so cool. We're together in this. Really creating their own little tribes within this network. So we are working to raise more money to expand, but expansion to our organization is going deep in those communities, so then we can track it, and then those girls can have jobs in their communities. Train Technologies, 3M, they're Capital Group, they're CoreLogic, they're all great supporters of ours, and the goal is that they get to see themselves with the people, with the volunteers, because all those organizations have incredible people who work there. And then in their community, if 3M is in your backyard and you're like, oh my gosh, I can work there one day as a geologist, because they have geologists on staff, that you can not only create this pathway for yourself or be a line worker for Duke Energy. It's like, but you create this pathway and this confidence. It's like, I can do what I want to do. And then the economics of it, right? So if there's a lot of girls who will bring their families out of generational poverty because they've built confidence in themselves to either be science, STEM careers, or something else, but they will have the confidence to do whatever they want to do.
Oh my God, that gave me the goosebumps. That's so awesome. When Tim hears this so speaks to what he's also all about. And again, just these good synergies of what you guys are trying to do, not trying to do what you are doing, which is so important. So taking work aside, what do you do for fun? What does Christy do to keep yourself mentally and physically happy and healthy?
I surround myself with incredible women. So check, Heidi. And I think that fuels me, right? The kindness and the support and the fun and the laughter that we get. and with wine, so it's amplified even more. But I think based on my roots, I like to be active. So I like to walk. I like to go to exercise classes. I do yoga with our friend Jessica. See how it all connects here. But I like being outside and outdoors as much as I can, because I think for me, like mentally and physically, I can't run as far as I used to, or I don't enjoy as much, but even just a long walk, it just helps me center. So I love being active. Again, I'd play pickleball, or I'd play bocce ball, something. It's like, just give me an activity and let me do it. So I think that has helped, in the hard times when you don't feel like doing it. I just know if I just walk, I trick myself sometimes. It's just like, just go to the end of the street. I don't want to do it, but just go to the end of the street. And once you hit the end of the street, okay, I'll go a little farther, and I'll go a little further. And then by the time the walk's over, I'm like, okay, what's next? And my list changed. And so those are some of the things that I like to do.
Yeah, I mean, Christy's funny. I'll be like, hey, girl, what's going on this weekend? She's like, oh, I'm going down to Newport and I'm playing in a tennis tournament. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Or, I'm going to go hiking for 12 hours. No, 12 hours. I do admire your activeness. And when I'm able to take my bike down, and we've ridden at the beach a couple times, like that is so fulfilling and important to me. So, we've got this beautiful weather. We need to continue to do that. It's a lot of fun.
Yes. Anytime.
Always in. I love it. So what's the hardest part about your job?
I think the hardest part, a lot of nonprofits, right, lean and mean. And so really having the ability to do all that it takes. There are days that I wish I could do more. I'm sure I need to send those thank yous with gratitude quicker and more often. And so I think that's the hardest part, is to stay on top of what it takes. It's hard too. It's hard when you hear no and you think, how would you not want to fund this organization? Like, how do you not want to help your community? I know a lot of people, corporations, are going through some changes, and certainly people want to help. I mean, I think that's my I do believe it at my core, is that people want to help each other. So, I mean, that's hard, because I know that if I don't get the funding, then we cannot do a program. So my job directly correlates with the impact that we can have and the number of girls we can serve. So that's hard, but it's also, on the flip side, it's motivating. I hear not right now, not a hard no. And so it's just that it's the reframing of your mindset. So those are the couple of the things that are hard. I think everybody who wakes up and goes to a job, there's hard elements. If you care about your job, it can be hard at times, but you just kind of keep going and keep at it, because sometimes there's those days where you have this big funder or people who goes, yes. And then how can I do it? When can we start? And it just, you ride high for weeks on that.
Yeah, that's for sure. Awesome. If I had a magic wand and you could have a couple wishes, and it can be anything. It can be for you selfishly, it doesn't matter what it is. Give me one or two things you'd want to use that magic wand on.
Well, selfishly, I would love a magic wand that I could have a ranch in Mendocino or somewhere fabulous. Lots of acreage with little homes on the property. I think we had talked about it one time, like, how do we get tiny homes for all of our friends, and then have a space for some Golden Girl situation in the next, 15, 20 years, that everybody could call home. And, with husbands, with, the kids will probably be out of the house, but just that we would have this center that everybody would just have their key to their tiny home, and they would show up when they would show up. And I mean, if I had a bus or a jet, that I'd just get people, and, that no one would have a worry. It's like, I want to be there. It's like, great, let's go. We're all there.
I know we talk about that. I do love that. Like, that would just be so much fun. It's like, I think it's going to happen one day.
You know what? We're
going to figure it out.
We're visualizing it, and yeah, I totally agree. So that would be a big magic wand wish for me. All my friends are happy and healthy. Life is hard, but that people who are suffering today, won't suffer tomorrow, and then we all remain happy, not live forever, but a real long time. I don't want anybody to go. So, yeah, those are the two things that come to mind.
Oh, Kristy, I love you. Is there anything we didn't get to talk about that you want to share? Anything we left out or?
No, I mean, I love this conversation. I love, every time we get together, just how being friends and good friends for multiple years. But it's always fun. There's always something to talk about and new discoveries and new perspectives and different perspectives. So in addition to having a pet when you're young, I think that having these friends that you can trust and who will build you up and who will be there for you, I think like a trusty dog or cat. But I think it's just so important. It makes my life fuller. So yeah, no, I love this conversation. I think that you have a real gift connecting people in a lot of different ways and making them feel happy. And so this is just, this is going to be incredible for you all.
Aw, thank you. Tell the audience where they can find your nonprofit. We'll post it, but if you want to say it as well, that would be great.
Yeah, thank you so much. So Project Scientist, so it's www.projectscientist.org. Yeah, and if people want to volunteer, if they want to give of their time and treasure, we would love you to help, because we are creating this incredible new generation of STEM leaders who are diverse in thought, they're diverse in background, and we believe that a Nobel Peace Prize will go to a Project Scientist girl in the next few years. So we're very excited to be a part of that.
I love it. That is awesome. So that concludes my interview with Kristy Anderson. I love you. I appreciate you. I can't wait to see you and just spend some more fun time with you and our other girlfriends. I also just want to remind everybody, please adopt and don't shop. We have so many amazing animals in the shelters and with rescue groups everywhere across the United States, not just here in California. You can foster, you can volunteer. Reach out to me if you need to know where your local shelters are, but just, we need your help. The animals need your help. And on that note, everybody, thank you for joining the show. Until next time, everybody take care, be safe, and sending out love.